I wanted to share some information about my latest firearm purchase, the Beretta Nano. Now this little gun has been pretty elusive around my area, so I wanted to share with you 10 things that I really like about Beretta's new Nano. So first I'll clear it. Nothing in the chamber, empty magazine. On with the list. The first thing that I noticed about this gun that I really liked was that it has a snag-free design. Very smooth machining, no external levers, buttons, or catches, which makes this conducive for a pretty clean draw. Everything is pretty much internalized with this gun. You can't see the hammer, it's all inside. So clearly the engineers at Beretta designed this to be a concealed carry weapon. When you take a look at another subcompact gun, for example, this is the PX4 Storm, and we're clear here too. This is also a subcompact gun, but you've got the hammer that's exposed here, and you've got safety decocker, slide release, got some pretty mean looking angles there to it. Pretty mean looking gun. But Nano is going to have a pretty clean draw for you. Nothing to really get snagged on. Number 2. When you handle this gun, you'll notice that it's got a pretty good size back strap and grip. One of the things that I've had issues with other pocket pistols and subcompact guns from other firearm manufacturers is that I've actually had issues with being able to squeeze the trigger all the way back. Maybe my fingers are long, but that's definitely an issue that I've had with other pistols. I do not have this issue at all with the Nano. Number 3, we've got a 6 cartridge capacity magazine, plus the ability to chamber a cartridge. So technically that's 7 cartridge capacity. Number 4, there's no safety decocker here. That, in combination with the fact that this is a single action mode firearm, made me think, yikes, in terms of safety. This pistol is ready to fire when you load a loaded magazine and you pull the slide back. You are in live action mode. And when you think about this for a minute, the fact that there's no safety decocker and the fact that it's single action mode in terms of its firing capabilities, Beretta has really removed any roadblocks in terms of hampering time. That's a good thing in a concealed carry weapon. When you're in a defensive situation and when seconds count, you do not want to be fiddling around with disengaging a safety or pulling back a hammer so that you're in single action mode. But that doesn't mean there are no safety features, which leads me to my 5th reason why I like the Nano, and that's the trigger drop safety feature. If you look here on the trigger, there's a little lever that needs to be depressed in order to fire. This will prevent accidental firing if the gun is dropped, and pretty much requires that you have a firm pull of the trigger in order to fire this gun. So that's a safety feature. Which leads me to my next thing that I like about the Nano, and that's the fact that the trigger itself it has a deep trigger pull. Not too deep, but it's not feather light either. It takes a firm and confident pull of the trigger in order to fire this gun. when you think about it, if you're in a situation where you have to defend yourself, you may be a little bit nervous, you might even have a shaky hand. You do not want to have a feather light trigger. So a firm but confident pull of the trigger is going to fire this gun. I personally like that. The next thing that I like about this gun is the fact that it has a 3-point sight system. This is something that I've pretty much grown accustomed to with my other Beretta firearms. So the fact that it has a sight system, a 3-point sight system, is a big advantage for me. Other subcompact pistols and pocket pistols, well, sometimes they don't have a sight system at all, and the ones that do usually have a single point system or maybe a little notch. So 3-point sight system, very cool. When I actually took this gun down to the range to put it through its paces, I noticed right away that this thing is ready to go right out of the box. It's not stiff, you can pull the slide back easy, the magazine goes in very tightly with a click. And really it only took a few dozen rounds in the target to really get some good clusters going on there. So ready to go out of the box. You don't really need to have a huge break-in period. So that's a huge plus. Number 9, the second thing that I noticed is when I actually pulled the trigger, the kickback wasn't all that bad. Your hand's not flying all over the place when you pull the trigger, which allows me to be pretty accurate on the target. Like I said, after about a few dozen rounds at about 7 yards, I was able to get some good clustering going on. So thumbs up for that. And the last thing, number 10, is the fact that I know this is a little bit of a religion with some people, but I like the fact that this is a 9mm caliber. For 2 reasons. I prefer to have a 9mm cartridge in a personal defense situation. I'm not really comfortable in having a smaller caliber cartridge in that situation. I need to know that if I'm in a scenario where I need to draw and fire, I want to know that that the other person's going down, and 9mm is going to get me there. The second reason why I like 9mm is because I have other firearms that use the 9mm caliber, so they can all share ammo. How great is that? So that rounds out my list. So I just wanted to say thank you to Beretta for making such fine firearms, and I'll catch you next time.